Hey Scorpio, welcome back to Key Wisdom Tarot. My name is Ruth and this is Tiny. I'm your Reiki Master and Tarot Reader, and this is your healing intuitive reading for the time between the 29th of August today and the 12th of September. We're going to look at key energies and outcomes for this time period. We'll also look at each week by week in depth. Okay, my darlings. I just want to say thank you to all those people, my regular supporters and subscribers and viewers. Thank you so much for supporting me over this last 12 months or so. And also welcome to my to the new viewers, new subscribers. It's really, really great to have you here. Key Wisdom Tarot is really tarot for spiritual growth and development. So I work with mindfulness, meditation, Reiki and tarot. I read intuitively, and hopefully you'll get some benefits from that and you'll feel healed, grow, and you'll be able to expand, etc. Okay, my darlings. So I hope you enjoy this reading. I have already shuffled and I've already meditated. I'll do a little bit more of that on camera and then we'll get started on your reading. You can look at Tiny while I do this bit. Good boy bit. Okay, my darlings, card at the base of your reading is the Knight of Pentacles. So this is the perspective that we need to see this whole reading through. Now, some of you might think, well, that means slow progress. But no, I don't say that. Just a second. Let me just unplug this. Charge it. Just a sec. Oh, please don't. There we go. Okay, that's irritating me. That's annoying me. Okay. Some of you might say, Ruth, that means slow progress. Well, not quite. So Pentacles energy is, there we go. Pentacles energy is where we put our energy and effort in order to manifest our security. The Knight of Pentacles is like is that methodical way that we build security. We build security by excavating, by uncovering, by working on, by focusing on. No stone left unturned. I cannot make progress. I will not take my next step until I fully understand and commit to understanding where I'm at now. That's the energy of the Knight of Pentacles, and that's why that slow, methodical movement. Yes, it's slow, but it ensures permanent security in some aspects. So we'll see what aspect that is. We'll have a look in greater detail right now. So we'll look at the first key energy. We'll look at this one right at the end. Okay, bear with me a sec. There we go. The first key energy that you've got is the King of Cups. So this is feelings of, not just feelings of, but acting on. So let me talk about feelings of what, acting on what. Okay, so people love this card, and you always talk about it as being like, you know, the best husband. I mean, I prefer to marry the King of Pentacles, to be fair, but I am a Capricorn, so I would say that. But this is your energy, Scorpio. And this means that you're in your element. So this is Cups, as you know, emotions and intuition, okay? That enduring side of our lives, you know, that part of our lives that inner knowing is also related to the sign of, the water energy, Cups energy. The flow of things, the natural order of things, and also the connection that we all have to each other, to the universe, to the earth, etc. Is all governed by the energy of the cups. Now, as a king, that you're a master of this. You're not in control of this, but there's a maturity and an understanding that is present with a king, and that's where you're at right now. So it's a beautiful energy, and this means that you should be feeling confident and wanting to act also on what you're feeling. So whatever your I mean, as I said, this is a slow process, what you're going through. So it's taking you time to build up to get to where you're at now. There's a newness about you, actually, Scorpio. There's a newness about you. What's happened, Scorpio? What's happened, Scorpio? There's a newness about you. You're seeing yourself in a new way, in a new light, and others around you are seeing you in a new way, in a new light. Friends, people around you. Let's have a look at the actual, I don't know, more in-depth stuff that we could be experiencing, that you're experiencing. Wow, the star and the moon. I mean, you couldn't get more sort of higher spiritual. I mean, all we need to do is throw in the death card and temperance, and we've got the full whammy, haven't we? We've got when I talk about spirituality and developing, and key wisdom's about developing your, you know, it's natural healing, etc. Yeah, this is exactly what these two cards are talking about. And all the stuff I said to you about the king, apply it to these two energies. The star is related to, is Aquarius's energy related to the earth sign. So our minds, our clarity, our logic, our reasoning, our awareness, and our ability to, and our ability to engage with our awareness, or our not ability, willingness, that's the word, our willingness to engage with our awareness. So I always say, I've been saying today and the last video, and by the way, that was Cancers, and I don't care if you're a Cancer or not, you need to watch that reading. It's taken me a while to recover from it, but it was a message that I don't know where that message came from. Do you know what I mean? It felt like that. I'm like, where did that message come, like, where did it come from? Because I was speaking and I was like, I don't even know, man. It was like this. So yeah, watch that message. But anyway, that we don't want to go to our graves not knowing who we are. The star has that clarity about who you are, and this clarity about where you're going, and this clear understanding of what has to be done in order to get there. And this foresight and this awareness with the star card is there. You're ensured success when you see the star card, as long as you follow the flow. Because inevitably it leads us to the moon. The moon's a very different energy, actually, in a sense, because the moon is where, well, this is in our mind, so having that, knowing it's going to be fine, but not knowing how, not feeling that you understand how, but just knowing, as in knowing clearly, definitively that, yeah, I know it's going to be good, and not even feeling it is separate. But inevitably we're led to the moon with it. The moon is more of our, as I said, what's beneath the surface. Our intuition, our emotional state, and our emotional bodies. The connection that we have to each other, to the world, to nature, to our past. There is no door closed to the moon card. Everything is open, so everything is in the same. Everything's the same. The constants of the universe is the same. So 2019 is the same as 20 AD, is the same as 30 AD, and you have all of this is just in the pool. It's all in the pool, all that knowledge, all that wisdom, that connection that we have to those things, to your dreams, to your past, to your childhood, to your future, to your intuition. There's no barrier between where you're at now as you sit watching this or live watching this video. There's no barrier between that and all those other aspects of life and of your reality and of human existence. The moon card can feel this energy. When we get this energy, it can feel quite intense, because what we're asked to do is to just exist in that space, to swim in that water, to be in that river, to connect with our intuition, to connect with our souls. Some people don't want to do that. It's hard for us to do that, because the reason it's hard is because it's truthful, and truthfulness is hard for us to accept. I've been saying today, we don't the amount of people that have gone to their graves not knowing who they are, don't let that be you. You know, you should know who you are. You should want to know who you are. But we avoid it. I avoid it. Everyone does. That's how we live. And slowly, but slowly throughout our lifetimes, throughout different experiences, we learn more and more about ourselves, and we become sitting in our own truth. For you, it might be this process might be sometimes challenging, but actually what it looks at when I look at these energies, challenging is in the sense of progress. So you might feel like things aren't progressing quick enough, things aren't moving fast enough, but actually all this work is going on beneath the surface. So you're connecting with the constant, you're connecting with your subconscious, with your collective consciousness. This is a spiritual reading, actually, very spiritual. This is the type of reading that it's one of those soul readings, man. It's like it's talking to your soul, and there is a calling that you can hear, Scorpio, and it is real. I think for some of you watching this now, you've been sort of waiting, or not waiting. You may have felt like you've been waiting, but you haven't. You've been making beautiful progress. You're perfect and exactly where you need to be. And there's been like this, let's say, dabbling with a new reality, almost dabbling with Reiki or with tarot or with mediumship or whatever it is for you as an individual. There's been some dabbling going on. So you've been reading more, and you've been exploring more and watching different types of content in order to sort of open your mind a little bit. You're trying to, you feel in a way pulled in a direction that is gently, but you're being pulled in a direction that is helping to open your mind. Now, for those people not spiritually minded to that extent, that still stands. So it might be that you're drawn to a person or a new you thinking about maybe going to around the world, you know, living in a different place around the world or whatever, moving location, new relationship, new job. Those things that are new, you're being pulled in a direction, and you wouldn't have thought that. So say, for example, you're a teacher. I always use this example because I was a teacher and it's easy. And teachers are going back to school. Oh, I feel sorry for you guys. And I am not even being facetious because I know how hard this term is. But it's like, for example, say, for example, you're a teacher and you've always been a teacher and you love being a teacher. And say you teach art, for example. And you teach art and you've always taught art, but you're being pulled in a new direction now. It's like, you want to do something else. You maybe want to be an artist, or you maybe want to like go into a different field, for example. I don't know. That could be you being pulled in that similar direction. So there's a real spiritual aspect to this reading. So some of you have been working with, I'll say energy. You might say spirit or angels or whatever. I'll say energy because that's how I work. You've been working with energy, you've been dabbling with it, you've been pulled, you know, as I said, gently pulled in new directions. That's what we're going to call it. We're going to call it you're being gently pulled in new directions. And you can't sort of specify, like write it down in a list as to why you're even doing this, why you're even like using tarot cards, or why you're even considering a move to the other side of the world to teach English or whatever. You can't write it down and say these are the reasons X, Y, Z. But in your mind, it's like, oh yeah, it's like real. It's like, yeah, I know this is what I want to do, or I know this is right, or this is real. And your soul, because the moon is like just pulling you along, so you're going in that flow. Now there's the energy here of the Two of Pentacles. So yeah, there is definitely because remember, Pentacles, where we put our energy in order to manifest security. So there's this energy here of trying to weigh up. This is what I love about us. People think that the brain, the logic mind The logical mind is the be all and end all. If you can be logical, if you can be intelligent in the way that we measure intelligence, it's like funny, isn't it? Because we decide what intelligence is, or not we, not me and you, but other people that have died many, many years and thousands and hundreds of years ago, they died. They decided what intelligence was, and we all have to measure up against this level of intelligence. Anyway, so it's funny how we think that the mind, the logical mind, is so important, but it would be so good if you could do a survey or something to actually think what really drives people's actions and what really drives the things behind what we do. And 9 times out of 10, it isn't logic or reason. It's a knowing, it's a feeling, it's something else. And those are the type of... It's hard to put it in a box for me to deliver this message for you, because it's vast, it's big, it's huge. There's an expansion going on that you are aware of, that you understand that change is happening, you understand that you are, as I said, being pulled in these directions. And yes, it means examining your life as it is now and what it would, but it kind of also doesn't really matter, because what the process is, this is the same process really. This is what the knight does when he gets off his horse. This is you refining yourself. This is you listening more closely. This is you feeling that pull more strongly. This is you working out, understanding as you go. Refining yourself, refining that connection to spirit. I mean, I say energy, but to spirit, to whatever you want to call it. But also to this, for those of us not that as spiritually minded in that sense, pull to this new job or this new opportunity or this new relationship. So you could say, well, I can just ignore it. You can't. The thing is, it's hard. It's hard to ignore it, because not only is it in your mind, does it make sense, even though you don't know why it makes sense, it just does. It's also your intuitive body, your emotional body, where it makes sense. So you can tell yourself in your mind, right, I need to stop doing this. There's no point in looking for another job because I'm in this job. This is what I'm doing. I'm a teacher. But then you'll find yourself, after you come home from school, on the freaking internet, looking up, what's the meaning of this tarot card, or how to connect with spirit, or whatever, or how to transfer, how to become a research fellow in Australia or whatever. I don't know. But do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, you might be in your mind doing this. Oh, I'm a teacher. I've got a mortgage. I've got to. But it's like your body is pulling you in this direction. Your soul is. So it's going to be interesting to see how you respond to that, how you listen to that. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. We've got the King of Wands, Page of Swords. This is you doing that. This is you. We'll just look at this one first. This is you doing that, what I just said, you're trying to do that research. You're trying to find out why, you're trying to understand why. You're online, you're looking for the jobs, you're finding out the information. What's the meaning of this tarot card? What's the meaning of this number? You're doing all that stuff. Hello, Tiny. Oh, gosh, Tiny's here. We know when Tiny comes, we know what these, don't we? Oh, you all right, baby? Good boy. You got all that work doing, detail-oriented, finding facts, looking for stuff. Good negotiator, we call this dude. Page of Swords. We don't know the outcome with the page because we're not a king, but you are. There's a combination of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, which are represented here by the King of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles, but actually also represented here by the Chariot. This is literally like, this is masculine, this is feminine. This is masculine, this is feminine, this is masculine, this is feminine. And all of those masculines and feminines are you. The aim point of healing, of Reiki, tarot, mediumship, all that stuff, is the compassion. And compassion is because we have that unification of divine feminine, divine masculine in a child, okay? And about listening and responding to those things and recognizing that they both are significant, that both sides of ourselves are significant and important. So this Queen of Pentacles, remember, energy and effort to gain security, is about understanding. This is you understanding that there is something there now, something that I can't avoid, something that I can't ignore anymore. It's real. there is a pull. Even if you just acknowledge that there's a pull, that's you acknowledging that there's a pull in a specific direction. But it's you, this is an acknowledgement, one, of where you want to, for some of you, it'll be, this is clear evidence that you now know what you want to do and where you want to go precisely. Or for others of you, this is knowing that there's something else calling you. Yeah, I'm a teacher, but I always wanted to be a scientist or whatever. Does that make sense? So this is you realizing that exists. That pull in your psyche, your subconscious is existing. That's the Queen of Pentacles, feeling that, recognizing that. The King of Wands is acting though. That means taking actions towards. So remember, wand energy is our key, our chi, our life force, the thing that animates us, our imagination, our creativity, our joie de vivre. I don't think I've got any French people on my... I don't know if I've got any French viewers. I probably do, but I don't know. I would love to know if I've got any French people. Do French people... In fact, yeah, they must do tarot, I suppose, innit? Because there's French cards. Yeah, they probably do. Anyway, but do you know what I like about the French? They're so to the point, straight down the line. This is who I am. That's a stereotype, of course. But I don't know any French people. Like, I've never had any French friends or anything like that. But I like the French. I like them. I don't know them, but I like them. Anyway, wand energy is that sort of focus, that sort of energy, if you will. And the king makes effort toward that, takes steps toward it. So there's lots of masculine energies here, and all these masculine energies are active, which means that it's you taking action on, acting on your feelings, acting on the things that you're drawn toward. So for some of you, you understand that there is something that you're being pulled in a specific direction. You feel it. You understand that you are. You don't know why you are. You don't know why you want to throw your career away. You don't know why you want to do it, but you know that it's the right thing to do. You're going to listen to yourself. You're going to act on that. And by acting on that, it's about finding out the information for some of you, doing the research for some of you, finding out for all those people that, as I said, even tarot. I use tarot because it's easier, obviously. You know, you find, getting more information. Like, that's what I did when I started my channel last year. The amount of times I did search about, how do you, I've gone on YouTube and I'd search, like, how do I set up a YouTube channel? How do I, And honestly, there's some great channels that, some great videos out there where they just tell you stuff. So you're like, all right, okay, so you do this. So that might be the type of thing that you guys will be doing with this energy. And then this is the unification of it's represented in this card of the divine masculine and divine feminine, i.e. your mind, your logic, your reason, combined with your intuitive body, that pull, that knowing. Those two things combined, wielding them, balancing them out to propel you forward, okay? That's what the Chariot is representative of. There's two other cards here now. I didn't know where they were. Usually they sort of come out as clarifiers, but they're not clarifiers for some reason. But saying that, we've got a 7 and a 7. 7 is a number of mystery. And by mystery, we mean trying to understand. What do I understand? What do I need? What do I want? Which direction do I want to go in? Which is more significant to me? Is it more important for me to follow what I think's important, or do I follow this feeling? I've got to take both into account, blah, 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 blah. So 7 is asking that question. So, or those questions. Now, Cups energy is emotions. So this is, what do I desire? What do I feel? What am I wanting? What am I needing? This is those questions. So these are the type of things you might be asking yourself, because you're engaging, which is beautiful, with the process. You're feeling the pull, and not only are you and it can feel like this, it can feel like confusion, because you do have this job already. You are a teacher. I keep saying teacher, but you know what I mean. You are an engineer. So, why you want to become a sculptor, doesn't make any sense. But this is you asking your question. This is you engaging with the fact that you want to become a sculptor, even though you've been an engineer for the last 30 years. why do I feel this? Like, is this real? Like, is this, is this really what I want? Is this really what I'm going through? Is this a midlife crisis? Whatever. That's a 7 of Cups. This is you just asking that question. And actually, when we ask those questions, when we're under that influence, it is like a cloud in the sense that it's like a fog. We can't move, or we can't move very far. But we're feeling around. So imagine being in a room full of that smoke. You'd be feeling around. This is you're feeling around. Okay, let me just feel what I'm feeling and acknowledge what I'm feeling and talk to me. That's a 7 of Cups. So you'll be going through that sort of experience and energy. And then we get balance coming in. So this is good, because I always say about balance, star card, which is number 11, and justice, which is number 11, star card, which is number 17. I always say about these cards that you've got all the answers. You know everything. You know everything, but just none of the details. You don't know why, you don't know how. And I feel like there's a similar, that's what is the star card is. It's like, you know everything with the star card. It's as clear as that. It's as clear as this pen that you're being pulled in this direction. You've got no blooming clue why. You've got no blooming clue where it comes from. You know what I mean? It's like that. Justice is a similar thing in the sense that you have all the answers. You know all the answers. But the details are sketchy. You have got to fill the details in order to balance these scales. The universe is going to help you to do that over this next couple of weeks. And when we say you've got to fill these details in, this is this. This is this. Yeah? This is this. It's the and this. It's the recognizing the confusion, recognizing the pull, engaging with that pull, engaging with those questions, because, letting yourself acknowledge that, because it's that engagement that helps to balance your mind, your emotions. It helps to clear the fog and clear the way forward. This is a slower process so don't worry. I'm not, next time I see you in 2 weeks, you're not going to be like, right, Ruth, I've moved to, I was in UK and now I'm living in Colombia teaching English to, I'm not saying it's going to be that fast. This is about recognizing it, engaging with it, filling in those details. Why do you have this pull? For those on a more spiritual path, journey, tarot, mediumship, all that stuff, for those of you on that more spiritual journey, that's the same thing for you. It is the month of the Hermit, Virgo season. If you have got time, take some time to engage with it. So when I say to you guys, key wisdom through is mindfulness, meditation, Reiki, tarot, in that order, that's because that's where it starts. You've got to spend time with yourself. So even when we're going through this amount of confusion, we don't distract ourselves with drugs or drink or alcohol or sex or other people or films or sport. You don't distract yourself from the confusion and from the uncertainty and from the anxiety. You sit with that and you think about, this is where the meditation comes in. How am I feeling right now? What am I feeling right now? Why do I feel this way? How is this feeling manifesting itself within my body? Is it affecting my appetite or my sleep? In what ways is it affecting my appetite? In what ways is it affecting my sleep? Am I waking up at a certain time? These are the questions. So those people who are on a spiritual path, you want to be a tarot reader, whatever you want to, you're doing, the work involved. It's slow, it's incremental, but that's what you need to do in order to get to a place where you can do this type of stuff for a work, for a job, to make a living. You don't have to start off to do it. I don't know why I'm giving you advice like this, but do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, anyone like that, send me an email or whatever, or send me a comment. I'm going to kiss you. Guess what this is a card of? Temperance is a card of mindfulness. Mindfulness is different from meditation. Meditation is the hermit energy, yeah? Meditation is the knight and the four of swords, yeah? Because meditation is the etymology of that word is meditare, from the Latin, meaning to reflect, to consider, to think over. That's what meditation is. So meditation isn't lying there looking at trees or thinking about trees. That's not what meditation... I mean, it is, but it isn't, right? Meditation actually means to reflect, to consider, to think over, which is active. You actively must engage with, why am I feeling like this? Why don't I want to do this? Why am I stressing? Why am I feeling? That's you actively engaging. That's you meditating. Temperance is mindfulness. Mindfulness is to be aware of what you're currently experiencing physically, mentally, so in your mind, emotionally, and spiritually. At first, it's hard to practice mindfulness when you're walking around on the street. Obviously, now I do that all the time now, but at first I couldn't. So the first thing I learned to be mindful was this. These are my precepts, the Reiki precepts. Do not anger, do not worry, be humble. It doesn't mean don't ever get angry, don't ever worry. It means if you are angry, how do you know you're angry? How does that manifest within you? What are you feeling in that moment when you're angry? I must reflect on that. So when I'm angry, I do get angry, usually at the dog. Or at the dogs when I was dog sitting. That's the only thing you know what I'm saying? It's about how's it manifesting in my body? How does it feel when I'm angry? How does it feel? That's the type of work we have to do. And it's that energy. It's slow moving, but it's worth it. Temperance is that energy of being mindful, because it's that energy that helps you to connect with yourself. Look at the waters on here. You know, I said to you, didn't I? All we need is temperance, and thinking we've got the full gamut of experiences, and these are very spiritual cards, as in they speak very deeply to our intuition, to our intuitive selves, to our soul selves. These cards especially speak very, very deeply to that. So it will be a very spiritual time for some of you. Some of you will be already expanded. So you've already got the sort of download, if you will, the spiritual download. That's sort of step where you take from, I understand this, and then suddenly you understand so much more. So you've had that already this year. So you've had that July, August. We've had that jump, that shift in our awareness. You've had that, and now it's about expanding that. And by expanding that, we mean engage with it. And as I said, for those of you that aren't in that spiritual way, you still must engage with your desires now, understanding, trying to just engage with them. Ask yourself the questions, where do these come from? Because that's going to fill in the gaps for you, and it's going to help you to move into the direction, to the space that you want to be in. Okay, my darlings, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this reading, Scorpio. Please give this reading a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not already. I'm going to be back tomorrow with astrology for September, looking at the key transits like this. This is July, but I'll do this for September. Looking at the key transits for September, along with the what's his name, Hermit's energy in a bit more detail. And next week I'll be doing some additional readings, love readings for the month of September. Okay, thank you so much for being here, Scorpio. I hope you have a wonderful few weeks, and I'll see you all again very soon. Take care, my darlings. Bye.